So we've been using Calendly for over 8 years now, and we've built a system which generates an 80% show up rate, especially when you're reaching out to colder audiences, which are notoriously hard to get to show up to these calls. So in this video, I'm breaking down the exact scripts and workflows and settings that we use so that you can get the same results. So just to show you, we use Calendly. We get Calendly meetings booked every day, and what we try and do is we try and get them to reconfirm these calls. So you'll see that it says invitee confirmed, invitee confirmed, invitee confirmed, invitee confirmed. And that really helps us to get better show ups. So the majority of sales calls that we've generated in the past 8 years have come through a mixture of ads and cold outbound. And this inherently means that prospects are low trust. They don't trust you. And what low trust means is that they do not feel like they have an obligation to owe you anything, because they don't. So anything in their life that comes up is more important than that meeting, right? If they stub their toe on the way to the meeting, that's more important than the meeting. So you're not only just fighting, do I remember about this meeting? You're also fighting with life, okay? So because of this, the primary concern is show up rate. The show up rate is an issue for cold prospects, because when they say that they are interested, or they click on an ad and they say they're interested, there is some interest there, but that severely diminishes over time. Like, it drops off really, really quickly. And just to illustrate this, like, you're going to have someone book a call, all right? And this might be through cold email, it might be through a LinkedIn DM, it might be through ads, and then they've got like the call. We all know if this call is like 10 days away, the show up rate's going to be really, really low. Yes, because they've forgotten about the call, but more realistically, because you're going to be sending them reminders, they haven't forgotten about the call. Their life has moved on. Stuff has happened. It was at the top of their priority list, and now it's all the way down the bottom. Okay, so that is why you want to have the call, and when they book as close as possible, to minimize life attacking the situation and essentially the priorities changing in their world. Okay, and there, just to really hammer this home, there's 2 reasons that someone's gonna no-show to a meeting, and both get worse over time, both deteriorate over time. So the pain or interest has subsided, or rather life has taken its place. So, and I do this, right? I'll book in a call, let's say, for whatever reason, I'm struggling to get leads for XYZ client. And then I'll see something, or I'll get a cold email, and then I'll book in a call, and then I go and solve the issue, or somewhat solve the issue, or somebody else says they may have a solution, or something happens with that client, or something goes on. And then that call is now, and let's say it's 3 days from now. By the time I get to that call, even if it's still valuable for me, I'm not as interested. And so I'm way less likely to show up for that call. Okay. And then secondly, they forget about the meeting. And this also happens, right? Like, if you have a meeting, if you book a meeting for in 30 minutes, you're probably not going to forget about it. But, some people still forget about that. But if you book in a meeting for 30 days, you're probably going to forget about it unless you have some really good reminders. Okay. So because of these 2 things, we want to implement the following workflows to increase show up rates. So this is what we essentially use for all of our clients when we are booking in calls on their behalf, or when we essentially tell them, hey, like, you need some software that we can book in calls, or you can book in calls. This is what we recommend. And these are the workflows that we recommend to improve show up rate. So you're going to set up on the standard Calendly plan. You're going to add your phone number so that you can also get reminders, right? And then you're also going to go to integrations, email messaging. So what this means is that if I go to here and I go to Google, right? So if you, let's say we use G Suite, Gmail, typically email notifications are going to come from like notifications@calendly.com, but you can update it so it comes from your actual email address, which we recommend. It just looks better, and it is better. So you'd update that here. If you're Outlook, you can do it in Outlook, Outlook for Calendly workflows. Right? We also recommend adding your phone numbers for reminders not a massive thing if you're the one managing this, but if somebody else is booking calls in your calendar and you're not 100% across it, maybe you're on site during the days or you're not at your computer or something, you want to also get text reminders when you have calls coming up. Either you need to call the prospect. So you can do that by going to your profile and going to communication settings and essentially putting this in here and confirming it. So those are some things for setup. Upload your LinkedIn profile picture this is what we do. We use the same photo on here as we do on LinkedIn just because it provides some congruency, because most people are going to do some research on you. You kind of want the images of you to clearly be the same person. And then turn off Calendly branding as well. Branding, you can just use Calendly branding, turn that off. Okay. So in terms of the workflows that we recommend, so an email to the host as soon as call is booked. So again, this makes sense because we're often booking calls on behalf of people. I'd also recommend you do this just because then you know, let's say you're running ads, or let's say someone books in through the website, you want to get an email that someone has booked. Then you want an email to the invitee as soon as call's booked. So, hey, first name, this email confirms your call with Daniel at 2 o'clock on Wednesday to talk about growing your XYZ business. So again, this makes sense for us because we help people grow their business. So we would say, we would fill this out depending on the industry. It would be very helpful if you could click the reconfirmation button found in this email. Looking forward to it. And then you're going to insert reconfirmation button. And so the reconfirmation button is a link where if they click it, it's going to show you on here. And I go to, let's see if any of these upcoming ones have clicked it. None of them have clicked it yet. This person's clicked it. So they've clicked invitee confirmed, which they will show to the meeting at this point. Okay. So we're going to ask them to click that in each of these reminder emails. Why? Because you've booked in a call and then you've gotten a reminder and then you take the action to say, I'm going to be there. You're now going to start to feel a bit of guilt if you don't show to that meeting because you've reconfirmed that you are going to show. So this starts to tie them in, like even if other stuff have come up in their life, now they're more likely to show and they're not just going to brush it off because they've had multiple layers of confirming that they're going to join this call. Okay. So we recommend using those reconfirm links. And just to show you how you do that, when you do your workflows, so let's just pick a 1 hour email. I'm just picking a random one here. You can include reconfirmation button. Okay. And then we've got, please confirm your attendance below. Okay. So then the email to invitee 24 hours before. Hey, first name, just a reminder, we've got a call at this time tomorrow to talk about growing. Again, asking them to click the reconfirm button if they haven't. Text 1 hour before. So this is an important one. Just a reminder, you've got a call in an hour. Their number is this. So you want to give the prospect the salesperson's phone number if they're going to be calling them by a phone number an hour before, right? You also want them to, often people don't know how to reschedule using a rescheduling link. So you want to say, like in the text reminders, if you need to reschedule, text me on this number, because these just come from like a short code. They don't come from your actual phone number, right? So you want to give them the phone number if they want to reconfirm. Text to invitee. Friendly reminder, we've got a call in now. If you'd like to reschedule, text me with a new time that works for you. And then we've split it up into 2 texts because it doesn't all fit on one, because you've got a very limited amount of characters that you can put in text. Also, it would be great if you click the reconfirm link if you haven't already, and then put the reconfirmation link in the text. So in all the emails and all the text, we're asking them to reconfirm, because once they click that reconfirm link, they're pretty much guaranteed to show. All right? Text invitee 10 minutes before, and then this is the same, but for a video call. Okay, so you have access to these, right? There's going to be a link below this video where you can just download these and copy and paste. The variables are in the right format that you can just copy and paste them across. And the stuff that's highlighted in like yellow is the stuff that you 100% need to change because it's just placeholders. Okay, these are the reminders that we would recommend. And I will say, and I can't remember if I'm going to say this later in this video as well, but if someone doesn't reconfirm, they've got a high chance of no showing. Okay, so on the morning of that meeting, you're going to call them and you're going to say, hey, John, it's Wani here. We've got a meeting at 2 p.m. today. I'm just checking in. Are you still good to make that meeting? And they'll be like, oh, actually, it's my son's football practice. Okay, no worries. Like, is there a better time that suits? Or do you want to have a meeting now? Right. So you're going to call them in the morning of, and if they haven't clicked the reconfirm button, and try and reconfirm them. Okay, so get back to them soon. Always allow them to only book for the next 4 days. If you're struggling with shop rates or you're struggling with people booking too far into the future, just limit when people can book the meeting, okay? And so you can go to scheduling, and you're going to find the event type. Let's say it is this one. Invitees can schedule 30 days into the future. So you're just going to cut this down to 4 days into the future, right? And save those changes. This is going to really help your shop rate if the reason why people aren't showing is because they're booking too far into the future. So if you look and you're like, oh, like a lot of these, like I'm getting calls booked, but they're booking for next week, you can just cut down. They're still going to book. They're just going to book for a closer time. Okay. And if they can't find a time, then you can say in your description, like, if you can't find a time, email me here. You can figure out a way around that. Allow them to book only the next 4 days and be available for business. And what I mean by this is lots of people will put like a 2-hour slot when they're available in the day. At the beginning, open up far more of your day and just be available for business. Okay. If you've got lots of calls coming in and you can start to be picky about it, yeah, definitely you can start to tighten the parameters or the time slots when you're available. At the beginning, ask them to book soon and give them a wide range of times throughout the day that you're available to chat. This means their interest is less likely to diminish and you start to shelter yourself from all the live events that result in no-shows. Have SMS in the workflows. People will forget. Some industries don't religiously check their emails. We do an SMS 1 hour before and 10 minutes before, and this helps shows massively. So a big thing that some people don't do is they don't use the SMS reminders. Use the SMS reminders. We've found that if you're looking at some companies that don't, some companies that do, the companies that do are going to get way more people to click that reconfirmation link and hence way more people to show up to these meetings. This is particularly the case if the people that you're reaching out to aren't like working a tech job at their computer all day, where their day is split on their calendar that they look at and they have another tab open all day. Okay. So if you're working with slightly more blue collar people or you're booking in calls with people that aren't on their computer all day, you have to have SMS reminders. Okay. I've put this here again. Ask for the reconfirmation. If the prospect does not reconfirm, manually try and reconfirm in the morning of the meeting by texting and calling them. This is a big one as well. Don't try and sell in your reminders. The goal of the reminders, people try and get cute with the reminders and think like, hey, I can use these reminders as an opportunity to build trust and rapport. And when you're doing outbound, I don't recommend that. If people are coming inbound, then yes, you can use the reminders to send them more like case studies and all these things and get them excited for the call. When you're going outbound, just set the reminders as a reminder for the call and try and build trust on the call. And the reason why I say that is because when you're doing outbound, you have reached out essentially saying you can help them, but you're not 100% sure how to position your thing as a thing that can help them until you're talking to them and fully seeing what their problems are, right? And so you don't want to try and sell them something which will be misaligned with where they're actually at, and then they're going to no-show because they think they're not a good fit because you've tried to fit what you do into one specific use case, which is not where the prospect is. So don't try and sell in your reminders. You're more likely to just turn them off. Okay, this is fine if you've got an abundance of leads, but if you don't, then make your reminder sequences very simple. Just use the ones we've said above. Hey, excited about our call about growing your business, excited about our call about getting you this result, right? Or excited about our call. You don't even need to say the rest of it. We have found that the goal of the reminders is just to remind them to show up to the meeting. In the meeting itself, you can build trust and rapport, fantastic spelling, and move them further down the pipeline. Okay, and again, those are those Calendly workflows that I showed earlier. You get the prospect's phone number, right? So even if you're booking video meetings, you need to get the prospect's phone number. One, you need the prospect's phone number to get them, be able to send them SMS messages, but you also want their prospect's phone number so that if they no-show, you can call them and say like, hey John, we've got that meeting now. Is that still good for you? I'm on the call, right? You need to be able to have some mode of getting in touch with them. If you are a B2B company and would like to talk to somebody about generating more leads for your business through outbound, then you can book in a call with somebody in my team below. If you want to see how Calendly fits into the bigger picture of cold email outbound, I put together a 90-minute video on screen now. I'll see you there. Peace.